guys. Another early start to the day for me before I get kicking in high gear with client work today. And I want to actually talk about a topic that came through last night when working with some friends and just having some discussions of people that weren't feeling very well. And so let's talk in this video about grounding and how we can do that. I want to bring information forward of what has helped me, what I have learned from others, and also some really wise information from my best friend, but also an amazing practitioner who has actually helped me even think about it and expand my practices around grounding. So let's start with what is grounding and why would you need it? Grounding is, let's see, in the simplest of terms, would be reconnecting yourself back to Earth. So for those of you that are really new in your journey and all of these odd words you keep hearing from people, what do they all really mean, right? And I was in that place not all that long ago. If you think about our connection to Earth itself, to the planet, to nature, that's really where our grounding exists. It's rooted deeply in that. Another way that I like to look at it is sometimes I feel very disconnected in the sense of I feel like I float a lot, right? I don't feel like my feet are really on the ground. I feel like I live more up in this higher register of energetic information and connection and flow. But because I do that so much, I am not as grounded as I should be. And so that can lead to feelings like dizziness, feeling woozy, sometimes a little queasy or nauseous in your stomach. If your energy is really, really flowing, a lot of information is coming through to you, and you can get almost in that little spirally vortex feeling, and we're just not grounded. It often might feel to you like you feel like you're a little bit out of your body. So if you think about ever waking up in the middle of a dream, and for a while you don't feel like you're fully inside of yourself, you feel like maybe you're a little bit of a zombie walking around, not fully present. Well, it's because you're not. It's because your energy is still outside of you and you've got to reel it back in. And this is how we can feel throughout the day if we're absorbing a lot of information, getting downloads, upgrades, trying to process all the different things. If we're not grounded, then we feel that we're very outside of ourselves, that sort of situation. It might also manifest itself by you being so inundated with energy and feelings that you have to lay on the floor. Is that, or everything's going to spin out of control, or you might even feel like a weight within yourself and the weight's pushing you into the floor. That was actually the scenario my friend and I were discussing last night. I was feeling so overcome and overwhelmed with this almost a sense of physical heaviness that is just, it's so wildly out of control. So the best way to encounter that, or to counter that feeling and reaction, is to ground. There's a reason, as energetic beings, everything is energy around us, but as energetic beings, we can have so much amped up in us, all that information, all of that energy, all of that amazingness, but then without any grounding practice to both integrate that information and energy and also to ground ourselves and become anchored again here in the present, we need practices around us. So here's what a couple of things I wanted to share with you. There's a few different ways that you can ground. The obvious best way in the moment is to go put your feet in the dirt. Go find a patch of grass, earth, dirt, put your bare feet in it, hang out there for a few minutes and just let the connection happen. Now, if you are not in a place that you can do that, so if you're in a city, if you're stuck inside, you might even be at work and can't, or some situation that's occurring that you can't actually get to an outside place to do this, you can also visualize in that short-term window. This is only going to be your short-term fix. This is not long-term grounding practice. But you can visualize roots coming out of your feet, going down into the crust of the earth, deep into the planet, and anchoring you there. So you can do visualization practice as well if you don't have immediate access to earth to put your feet into. You can use other things in your practice daily, like having different grounding crystals and stones that you can use that will help you balance that energy. I recommend things like salt baths, using Epsom salt baths. Go do salt float. That's also amazing in terms of incorporating things like that in your overall self-care routine. But in the moment, salt baths work. Have started using a lot of incense, as you can see, and I use that just to help clear the space around me before I step into my practice. I'm a bit obsessive at this point because I love the way it smells. One of the other things that is great for you to do is, and I thought this was wonderful, this was suggestions from Jen Greenfield that I mentioned as an amazing practitioner who's taught me a lot of what I know in terms of my practices. And, you know, she recommends that you look for earthbound things that you're attracted to. Hiking, sitting with trees, gardening, working with clay, music with a walking bass line or big bass drums. Drumming is another amazing practice that can help you anchor and ground in as well. If you want to purchase your own drum, if you want to have somebody drum over you, a lot of those types of things, those sounds can help really drive us back into the energetic space we're looking to find. She's also recommended that sex can be very grounding as long as you're not too much in the fantasy side of it. It can allow you to reconnect into your root and sacral chakras, which is really, really important because any of your things that you're doing, you want them in terms of grounding yourself, you're trying to ground back into the root and the sacral space, which would also lead to things like any kind of movement or creative movement or would be like painting or dancing, anything along that line of thinking that would allow you to, again, move energy, but keeping it anchored within those lower chakra points for you. And I want to see if there's any other, she had so many good ideas in the conversation that we were having. Yes, the biggest point of all of it is to find what you're being drawn to. Right now, you're going to know what you're being drawn to do. Listen to that voice. You don't allow ego to tell you that you're making it up or that you're being ridiculous in what it is you're wanting to do. If it's connecting you back to nature, to earth, into those lower chakra points, these are the things you should be exploring. That not only helps you move energy that is getting trapped inside of you, but it allows you to anchor it back in a way that then you can work with it and manage it, learn from it, and grow and integrate it. I think this is really important for everybody right now, no matter where you are in your journey. The energies on our planet are insanely ridiculous right now. I mean, these are energies that we've not experienced before. They're very, very different vibrational space for us, and so your physical being is reacting to it as well as your energetic being. It is also triggering your spiritual being to wake up, to deal with what's going on inside of you, to do the shadow work, to release your trauma, and to grow and expand in your consciousness. In those processes, we often are inundated in all of those different body levels. We're inundated with all of this energy, and if you don't incorporate a practice to manage that, you're going to feel off. You're not going to feel well. You may be exceedingly tired while your body's integrating and adjusting and working with all of that new energy, which is usually where I find myself, as I get so much information and these massive downloads that I just have to lay down for a day or two to kind of integrate it. So look and explore the different things that work for you. Like I said, find your grounding stones, clear your space, do other cleansing practices to help, do that. But find what you need to do to anchor yourself back in to that earth space and reground. So I'd love to hear if you guys have any other practices that you use or incorporate that really help you with immediate grounding, and then maybe that next step of that grounding and integration of all of that energy that you have going on.